Bills go out west and stomp the Seahawks 31-10. The final, pick up their sixth win of the season. I'm Kevin Carroll. Welcome to the Buffalo End Zone podcast with me and Stevie Johnson. Joining us once again, Stevie, let's just jump right into it. You and I had talked going into this game. Need to see a fast start from the Bills. You got 2 3-and-outs.
Yeah, you said, hey.
And you got that touchdown right off the bat.
Yeah, we did, and you called it, though. You said, hey, no sleepwalking in Seattle, and I think the boys heard your message, and they came out active, energetic, and they came out with that energy that we wanted to see and that we know that the Buffalo Bills have to lead through the rest of the season.
We talked about this as well, and be careful what you bring up. You know, the talk of don't mention a no-hitter to a pitcher or whatever. The talk all week was Josh Allen hadn't thrown an interception. You just knew in your gut, Stevie, that it was coming in this one. But overall, I thought Allen played a great game.
Yeah, he played an excellent game. You know, that's the game that you want to see your quarterbacks having. 24 for 34, 240-something yards, you know, a couple touchdowns. You could have had a couple personal rushing touchdowns like we know of, but, you know, you letting everybody else eat, and that just makes the team even better. And, you know, this is exactly what we wanted to see out of our quarterback and our team completely.
Would you say this was one of Allen's better games this season so far?
It looked like one of his more comfortable games. I would say his better game, again, you know, we spoke on our post-game show, was I felt like that Arizona Cardinal game, you know, coming back from 10, you know, figuring out a new offense, people in different positions. I thought that was a lot more impressive than this victory over the Seahawks because I felt like our team now is in the appropriate position that they all need to be in. So, you know, the offense is cooking. Hey, point intended, you know, James Cook with 2 touchdowns, you know, but I think this was an easy game for him.
They're James cooking right now. Cook, 111 yards on 17 carries, average 6.5, had the 2 touchdowns you brought up. But again, we had that full complement of this backfield for the Bills chipping in this one. But James Cook, of course, really shined in this.
Yeah, I love it, you know, and it's just a lot that we speak on, you know, throughout the week and then coming up into the games. And then when we see our team play the way they play, you know, it just makes us feel even better and more enthusiastic to, you know, get on our podcast and our post-game shows and talk about our teams, the benefits of, you know, having moving pieces and evolving throughout the year and going up against these teams like the Seahawks. I don't want to disrespect them, you know, because I've been saying, you know, we'll blow them out and this and that. But, you know, at the same time, I think the Buffalo Bills understand when teams are on their level and when they're not. And this was a team that wasn't on their level. And, you know, the Bills did what they were supposed to. So I'm more concerned about, you know, how the team play against you know, Texans type team, upper echelon type teams. The Dolphins next week, yeah, they're going to be a good test. Obviously a strong athletic team. But, again, another game that we should blow these guys out and just continue to build up our confidence for the rest of the season.
You and I both agreed going into this that the Bills should hit the 30-point mark. They did at 31. I thought you'd get more from Seattle, but Seattle kept shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly in this game. Down in the red zone twice in the first half, come away with 3 points. Red zone, I mean, they were inside the 10, maybe even the 5.
Yeah, you know, and I'm just going to credit the Buffalo Bills Mafia, the fans. You know, it was very loud in that stadium. I felt like I can hear it, you know, from watching it. And, you know, I attribute half of that to the Buffalo Bills fan base. You know, so shout out to them for traveling and being there and showing up at the fish market, taking over Seattle, and ultimately our team ended up taking over the Seattle football team. So that was good.
You could literally hear over the TV, I think Amari Cooper had a catch or something. The Bills are on the road at Seattle, and you can clearly hear the stadium going, coo, because it sounded like a boo, but it was for Amari Cooper. I wanted to say Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper.
Hey, you know, I remember watching the Dallas Cowboys, and it's pretty cool that, you know, Amari came from the Cowboys. But back in the day, they used to always go, Moose. And I used to think, man, why are they booing their own team?
Yeah.
But they were saying Moose, but Moose Johnston. And, you know, that's pretty cool that we get to say the Coop shout. So, I'm looking forward to that, hearing that throughout the year and in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was fun. He wasn't as productive as he was during his Bills debut, but how about Khalil Shakir? 107 yards, 9 catches to this one. Dude was a beast. Rookie Keon Coleman, again, a factor in the game and had that first touchdown as the Bills got off to this fast start.
Yes, and hey, another thing that we spoke on, adding Amari Cooper, there's going to be some weeks where he's not going to shine. However, other players will shine because of his presence on the field, and that is what we're seeing. So I've been looking on social, on my X and my Instagram account, and I like what I've been seeing out of the fans because this is a great time for somebody to say, "Oh, Amari Cooper, 3 yards, 1 catch. What is he doing? He's not a factor." But I feel like with our presence, Kev, I'm going to take some credit for this. Me, you, and
Yes.
Andy, and what the Spectrum team is doing, we're giving fans insight, real insight, and letting them understand this 1 catch for 3 yards is more than what you think. This is setting up Khalil to be in a comfortable position. This is setting up Keon to be in a comfortable position. Mac, all our tight ends, everybody to be in comfortable positions. So with his presence being there is beneficial for our team overall.
Trickle down theory right there, Stevie. With him out there, he's getting more attention his way. And guys like Keon Coleman and Shakir, I think Shakir is going to get noticed a little bit more if he keeps putting together games like this. After the game, someone brought up a comparison between Cole Beasley and Khalil Shakir. Tom Brady, during the broadcast, referred to him as Danny Amendola-like, Cole Beasley, Julian Edelman, those guys that he worked with that could play that slot wide receiver role perfectly to a T. I just think Khalil brings just another factor to it, which is his toughness. Just won't go down on first contact.
Yeah, he's definitely emerged as a playmaker. He was one of those pieces 2-3 years ago where we was like, yeah, this kid is consistent. He's only getting 2 or 3 catches, but he's making the most out of it. I remember the Baltimore Raven game where it was wet and raining, and he came up with a couple big third down catches. And, you just seen him get more of an opportunity. So, he's taking advantage of it. And, yeah, I can definitely agree with Brady when he's talking about those pieces, those slot pieces that he's played with. Because when you see Khalil catch a pass, he immediately activates his bull in him, where he just goes forward. His legs are moving. It don't look like he's stopping and thinking about anything. He's just going. And, that's what you want in a receiver. In this receiver room, you need multiple pieces, and that's a great piece for having Shakir do what he do.
Yeah, and we mentioned during the postgame show that it looked like he kind of took over the role that Curtis Samuel had with some of these bubble screens and quick shots to the wide receiver and let the wide receiver do the running. And, I'm not going to bag on Curtis Samuel, but it looked like they were getting more bang for their buck with Khalil Shakir running those plays.
Yeah, and it is what it is, but that's the benefit of having a deep roster. So I wouldn't feel too sorry for Curtis because it's still a long season. All we need a couple games, and these ones early, it doesn't matter as much. So we have some patience with Samuel, to grow and evolve mentally and comfortably inside this offense. So yeah, I'm still fortunate or hopeful that he'll do fine if we keep him during past this trade deadline. But I'm still hopeful that he can still make plays for us, whether it's 1 or 2 in a big play in a big game, and then we just go from there. But as far as Shakir excelling more than Samuel in these similar spots, hey, you're gonna have to give that to Shakir every time because he's been here. So you just got to find your way to fit in, and I think he will as the season goes on.
Also brought this up during the postgame show. Keon Coleman, in the passing game, we like what we see. He said during the postgame he told Josh Allen to try him again, just put a little more air under the ball, and I'll get it. And he did with an incredible one-handed catch. But he also was there in the run game, blocking downfield, even got a penalty because he really finished his block maybe a little too aggressive, but I like that. He's a rookie. He's still getting used to the NFL itself. To see that kind of drive to just keep going until he hears the whistle, loved it.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it for a young guy that's getting involved in ways other than the known way of a receiver to get involved. And he's doing it with enthusiasm. He's pushing guys around, pushing them on the ground. He's taunting in a not in a malicious way, which I'm glad that the refs didn't call a penalty on him pointing down at the DB.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we're all warriors, and he's showing his warrior mode along with having fun. Let's touch on that touchdown. Not even a touchdown. Let's touch on what you brought up before the touchdown. Him going back to Josh and having the confidence to say, "Hey, run it again. Just do this or do that." As a rookie, talking to your one of the top two best quarterbacks in the league, hey man, that's showing comfort. So I love that, and then them going out and executing, it just was the icing on the cake.
Yeah, the Amari Cooper trickle down, as you said, goes down to the tight ends as well. National Tight End Day. Everybody's got to love the tight ends here. Dawson Knox involved early in this one, and then Dalton Kincaid, the tight end, finds the end zone, gets into the mix of those 31 points.
Yes, yes. Big shout out to the tight ends. I love tight ends. I love having athletic, versatile tight ends. And I want to give a big shout out to Dawson Knox for persevering through whatever it is, because I feel like Dawson's getting that Clay Thompson treatment in a sense. Nothing negative in that way, but you kind of feel like, okay, maybe we can shop Knox, but I feel like keeping Knox with Kincaid for maybe another year or two or three, who knows? Let's just keep them all together for the rest of their career, I would hope. But it's good to see him getting that 50 yards, 2 catches, and staying involved. He's a pivotal piece for us and another big player on our roster.
What do you make of all the penalties that, well, the Bills still dealing with pre-snap penalties on the offensive line. They were able to overcome it, but it's still something you notice throughout the game that it's constantly going from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15 or 1st and 20, that it just seems like it's happening all the time, and it happened to both teams. I think Brady pointed out during the broadcast that he never thought of all these flags as a player, but as a broadcaster and as a viewer sitting through all this is really annoying.
Yeah, it kind of gets ridiculous, and some of it is called for, some of it isn't, and it's like with penalties, it's one of those things like, hey, your parents tell you to clean up the room or whatnot, and you be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. I won't forget or do dishes, and then it's just something happens, and then hey, you didn't do the dishes or you didn't clean up your room. It's like like they trust me, they work on not having these penalties. They're not thinking about going out there and getting a penalty. It's a part of the game, and it's just something that's going to have to be fixed as the season go on, and that's what the Bills are going to have to do personally. It's nothing that they can do in games. It's just personally in that situation. I can't really explain it. These penalties are wild.
Now, the Bills' defense delivered in this one as well. I mean, Seattle, their offense was no pushover, led the league in passing. Really, let's be honest, they held them to 3 points. By the time they scored that touchdown in the second half, I was not paying that close of attention at all. So, but Gregory Rousseau, Stevie, to me, a standout guy right now. And Von Miller's coming back soon, but you have Gregory Rousseau out there. 2 batted balls to start the game was in Geno Smith's face, and he's been doing it a lot, getting into the quarterback's face. Gotta give credit to Gregory Rousseau.
Yeah, very disruptive. Like you said, you called it out with the pass breakups or the knockdowns. Those are huge. Adding tackles and assists. I love what he's evolving into, and there's so much more to come from Russo, and I'm looking forward to seeing him evolve even more. When you add more players, like our Bills will have during the rest of the season, his level of game is going to even grow more. So I'm looking forward to more from Russo. Our defense played amazing from the DBs to the linebackers filling in to our D line. you called it earlier also with the D-line getting interceptions, so like the team is clicking, and I'm looking forward to them to continue to evolve, but as a full defense. We still haven't even seen our defense at full strength, so it's something to look forward to.
Taron Johnson and Russell Douglas, Stevie, just pop off the page to me. And I'm talking about just watching the game, not even going through the stats here. 8 tackles for Johnson, 6 for Russell Douglas. They were just noticeable as always.
Yeah, and that's how you got to play. You got to fly around confident. That's the best thing to do when you have a defense like we have. I felt like we was going to beat this team because I don't believe the Seattle Seahawks had all of their players. And then even if they did, I think our defensive strategy was just something that's better than the Seahawks can offer. So yeah, I'm just proud of those guys for doing what they did. They stood up and on the road, and they executed. I can't really say much more about it. They executed.
Would DK Metcalf being in the lineup healthy changed how this game played out?
No, I don't think so. And that's what I was alluding to. Like, although they had those polarizing figures, with Geno leading the league in passing yards, DK looking like he's unstoppable. But our defense don't allow, big plays like that, as much. So for a team that rely on that, I don't think they would have had enough to beat us, whether they was fully healthy or not. And that's a testament to our defensive strategy, our defensive coaches, and the way our defensive players play, and that I just felt like they wouldn't have had enough for us, whether they was full health or not.
All right, you're obviously not at home. What are you up to?
Yeah, so we got our softball tournament. We out in Santee, California.
Yeah.
Our youngest, she's got her softball game. She just hit one out of the park in her first game. Now they playing right now for semifinals. So
Awesome.
yeah, we just having fun, man.
That's so cool. All right, Stevie, enjoy the rest of your evening. Go softball team, whatever the team's name is. And
Go Gamers. Yep.
We'll see you on Wednesday.
One love, brother. Always good.
All right, thanks, Stevie. And as always, everyone, thanks for joining us.